Welcome to the fourth installment, guys. Like I said, we're just getting started. In this episode, I want to focus on apps. Now, I don't have time to review every single app, but I'm going to review the ones that are important. Let's talk about when you lose your phone. That has to be probably one of the worst things that could happen. I mean, I've never lost my phone, but I can just imagine. What does iOS do if you lose your phone? What kind of applications are out there? Well, there's Find iPhone. Let's talk about Find iPhone. With Find iPhone, if you lose your iPhone, you can use a device like this, iPad, and locate your iPhone. When you've done that, you can either play a sound or a message, so you can say, hey, you have my phone. You can remote lock and remote wipe. But that's about it. The problem with this is if the person who stole your phone or found your phone turns off GPS, you're pretty much SOL. If you know what I mean. Now, that's okay. I've read a lot of reviews and I've talked to people who've actually lost their iPhone and they've told me that this really didn't work out. Not to say that it doesn't work and it hasn't helped people, but it's still, limited. Let's see what Android has to offer. They have an app called, you could download this from the App Store, called Cerberus. Okay, and I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. With this app, it basically allows you to do everything that Find iPhone does, which is not very much. And let me just move this a little closer here so you guys can see. Okay. What I can do is I can start tracking the device, seeing exactly every move that they're doing. I can stop tracking. I can get the device info, get location history. I can lock it with a code. I can unlock it. I can start an alarm that'll, scare them to death. I can display a message, get the call log. I mean, there's so much stuff that you can do. I can even record audio. So, for example, here's the phone. If I wanted to record what the person is doing, so say, for example, I'm going to record 15 seconds just for the sake of this demo. And right now, without you knowing, it is recording me. Okay? So I know what these thieves are doing. I know exactly their whole entire plan. And I could use this by showing the cops, letting them hear it. Anyway, there's so much stuff that you can do here. I'm not going to reveal the full app. It's pretty amazing. If, for example, let's say right now I can unlock it. I'm going to lock it with a code. But before I do that, let's go ahead and download that audio recording.
It is recording me. Okay? So I know what these thieves are doing. I know exactly their whole entire plan.
And that was just me talking a few seconds ago. Anyhow, and let me just close that. If I lock it with a code, 1, 2, 3, let's go ahead and send that command. Okay. I can also have it, there it goes, the phone shuts off. Now I need to put an unlock code. Now, I can also have it so that whenever the unlock code is, let's say, wrong 3 times, it will take a picture, or I can even take a picture right now. Let's go ahead and do that. I can even grab a screenshot, take a picture. I can use flash, not use flash, use a front-facing camera, use the back. So I could say use the back camera here. Okay, go ahead and send that command. And there it goes, just took a picture. Okay, so again, let me just put that unlock code, 1, 2, 3, hit OK. So this is a really cool feature from Android that I'll tell you right now, if even the thief decides to turn off Wi-Fi or turn off Bluetooth, turn off GPS, you can enable all of that through here. Okay, so once again, Android being very flexible without needing to root or jailbreak your phone. You just have to download this app, and I can tell you right now, if somebody were to steal my phone, they would be in trouble because it would be almost virtually impossible for me not to find them, especially when they won't even know that this app is installed. You can hide the application from the app drawer, as you can see here, hide from app drawer. And if I cycle through all my apps here, you will see that it's not there. Okay? Doesn't exist. It does exist, but nobody knows it exists. So, and there's even more stuff so that even if they completely wipe your phone, and do everything that possibly they can to, destroy the data, the app still lives there. So with that, I believe you do need root access, which, we're trying to compare here without needing to root the phone, but that's just taking it to the next level. So once again, a big plus for Android for being able to have this type of features and peace of mind that if you ever lose your phone, you know that you can easily recover it or at least find your thief. So this one's going to be a little hard to replicate, but when I was using the iPhone, and actually when I use the iPad too, I noticed that applications crash a lot more on iOS. This is something that I can tell you that particularly Facebook, crashes almost on a daily basis. What happens is I'll click on it to load it, it'll show the Facebook, and then all of a sudden it'll just go back to the home screen like nothing happened. Sometimes it makes you wonder, did I actually even click on Facebook? That's actually pretty smart on iOS. And with Android, especially even my Nexus, I can tell you that I've had my Nexus since December, and I've probably only had one app crash since then. And of course you can blame it on the developer, and you can say the same thing about iOS, but similar apps like Facebook never crashes on my Nexus device, or even when I had this other device. So again, this is something that's going to be very hard to replicate because I can't just be spending hours trying to click it and waiting for it to replicate that issue. However, according to Forbes magazine, you can Google this yourself, it shows the data that, you know, iOS apps do crash more than Android, and you can read all about it, and it, you know, explains everything. So, you know, don't take it for what I'm telling you. This is the reality of it, and I have to admit that iOS does a great job by doing that. You know, a lot of times when these applications crash, what they do is they send you back to the home screen just like this, almost thinking to yourself, if you accidentally push the home button or something, and you know, you almost forget about it. That's pretty brilliant on Apple's part. However, on Android, whenever an app crashes, that's not the case. Usually what it'll say, you get a little notification that lets you know if you want to wait for the app to try and figure things out, or if you want to send a report to the developer so that he or she can fix that problem, which is actually a good thing, so that they can, you know, fix whatever issue is causing with that device. So with iOS, there's no such thing as a notification letting you know, hey, you know, something went wrong. What do you want to do? Do you want to close or wait? So I think that's pretty brilliant on Apple's part to just kind of send you back here and you know, having you to go back and click on the app. But I'll tell you what, again, I guarantee you that I can't have a whole week go by without an application crashing. And again, Facebook is one of the primary ones. But you can say that it's the developers, but that never happens over here. So, you know, with this one, you iOS people out there know what I'm talking about, and you Android people know what I'm talking about. So since we're talking about apps, let's talk about Flash. I can already hear some of you, oh great, he's gonna talk about Flash. Flash is dead. Look guys, I'll be the first one to tell you, I don't like Flash personally, and I'm all for HTML5. However, there are still a couple of websites that I visit that still use Flash. And even a couple of like Engadget and Gizmodo, sometimes they'll put videos that are in Flash. So I like having the option of being able to still see Flash content. That is my choice. Whether I decide to install it or not, again, that is my choice. Let me show you exactly, and this, by the way, this is a true story. It happened to me a week ago. I was browsing the iPad, or I was browsing on the iPad, looking for a new BMW, and I noticed this site requires Flash. When I clicked on the M series models, I wanted to check out the M series, and like a fool, I clicked here to upgrade to see what would happen. Sorry, I already knew that was going to happen, but I was hopeful that there was some way. And I know that there's browsers out there that mimic, but it's still not the same experience. So if you're going to argue with me about that, sorry, it's not the same. Let's look at Flash on Android here. Same website, okay? I'll go ahead and unlock that. There's that nice looking BMW. This is Flash. Let's go ahead and look at the X6M, okay? By the way, this is a beautiful site. If you guys have a chance, take a look at it. If you're on iPhone, sorry, you got to go on your desktop. I can hit continue, and then it's really cool. By the way, that's not lagging, that's just the way it is. I know it looks like it's lagging, but go ahead and hit continue. Okay. So once again, this is my choice. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, wow, this is a great, you know, show. And of course, let me go ahead and hit continue here, or whatever that was. I think I clicked on more specs. Anyhow, with Flash, again, I don't want to talk about it too much. People already get it. It's been said, a million times, but it is still my choice. And once again, I want to be able to have that flexibility. So I don't think I need to continue more with this one. When people tell me that they hate Android, I look at them and say, you must hate the iPhone too. And then they look at me funny, and I tell them, no, really, you must hate iPhone or iOS. And then they're like, why do you say that? I'm like, because Android can do everything that the iPhone can and more. They're like, no, but the iPhone is more simple, it's easy to use. And I'm like, so why don't you just make your Android look like the iPhone? And that's, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to show you next. Now, there's a lot of different launchers, and that's one of the benefits of Android, is that you can theme out your phone without, again, having to root it. This is just a theme, and I chose a pretty poor one. I used a better one before. I couldn't find it for whatever reason. But here is my version of the iPhone. It basically works the same way. Again, this is a really poor one. I had a better one that worked perfectly, just like iOS, everything down to the T. And I didn't take the time to customize the buttons, and this is just a short demo, but basically I can do everything. I can, here's my applications. If I wanted to create a folder, it actually even works better than iOS, because if I wanted to, let's say, let's just show iOS first. If I wanted to add this into a group, and then let's just say this is utilities, that's fine, and I wanted to add more, I would have to do this, and then I would have to do this, and then so on and so forth. Anyway, cancel that. Oops. Now, with this one, or with this launcher, I can just do this. I can say, okay, this is my messaging app, so I do that, and it works the same way. But this is the cool part. I can just say, this is an app, this is an app, and just start check marking the ones that are supposed to go into that folder. Click on finish, and it's done. There's that folder. Now, I didn't name it anything. Sorry. And I can call it whatever I want. I can say this is my messaging or games. We'll just call it games for now. Okay? Games. There we go. Okay? Same thing. I can also, if I need to uninstall something, I'll just hold it down and it starts wiggling, and then I just close it out. So again, I didn't take the time to tweak it and make it look like iOS 100%, but what I'm trying to say is that it works just like iOS. It's simple. There's just a bunch of icons. I didn't bother filling it up. Even some of the icons look identical, and this gives you the same feel as iOS without having to lose the flexibility that Android has to offer. So once again, with these launchers, these are applications that you can just download and change your theme with a click of a button. A lot of people have been asking me about my theme, and they think it's actually a ROM. This is how far my customization is that people believe it's a custom ROM. It really isn't. I've customized the bottom buttons. I've customized, a couple things here and there, obviously the icons, and I've categorized everything to make it simple for me. So I'll just kind of give you a quick tour, since a lot of people have been asking me. I have all my office stuff here. I have all of my media, right? And this is connected to Google Cloud. So if I click on play, it will play. Okay, that was the last thing I was playing. Welcome to the jungle. I can go look at my playlist. Okay, open music player, and it'll show up my playlist from my Google Music. Okay, this is, the flexibility that I've been talking about. Anyway, that's my media. This is just my default home screen with battery status, the weather. As you can see, it's a rainy day today. All my social stuff, my miscellaneous, including folders, shopping, etc. So anyway, a lot of people think that I'm running a custom ROM, and that's not the case. If I go to About Phone, you can see that I'm running Android 4.04. Okay, so there's nothing special but the customization that I've added by downloading these custom launcher apps available without needing to root your phone. So I hope you guys enjoyed part 4. Again, applications, this could be a segment on its own. The customization is key, guys, and I can't stress that enough. You know, whether it's the keyboard. I know a lot of you love Swipe, and I actually enjoy Swipe too. You know, if I want to go to Apple, I mean, it's that easy, apple.com. I mean, if you blinked, you would have not saw that I clicked on that. You know, the applications are beautiful. We have Google Chrome. I know you're thinking like, well, what's the big deal? It's just a browser. It's really not a browser. It's beyond that. I mean, for example, when you go on a website, how many times have you ever clicked on one, let's say on the navigation or any part of the website, and you accidentally clicked on the wrong one? I mean, check this out. If I click, let's say here, I mean, look at that. It automatically zooms in so it knows, okay, which one did you want? Did you want the iPad or iTunes? So I'll just click on iPad. I mean, oops, there it goes. This is how smart, sorry, my finger is a little slippery there. This is how smart the browser is. I mean, we've never seen that on any browser, so why would I want to use the default browser when I have that type of, functionality? So once again, it is 100% the flexibility. Let's move on to part 5. Things are just getting exciting, and I'll tell you what, right now, it's probably going to be a little longer than a 6 series, so, you know, I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you on the next video.